Welcome back to another episode of Riv Academy. I want to say good afternoon. How everybody's doing? I'm here. Make sure y'all go like and subscribe. Make sure y'all go follow me on Twitter at Revio. Make sure y'all go follow the Fantasy Reaction. Pick a side. Go subscribe. Go to Joel Moran show. He's dropping another show. I gotta show love to my guys, definitely. But they've been doing their thing. We got a lot to unpack today. And I wanted to get this content out for you guys because I told y'all to be as consistent as possible. I told y'all I'd try to give y'all the goods, but we're gonna be doing a lot. We're gonna be talking about the James Harden trade that happened randomly in the middle of the night the other night, and then we got the details this morning, if I'm not mistaken. We're gonna be talking about the in-season tournament, which is coming up. We're gonna preview that for a little bit, and we're gonna talk about Chris Paul's role as a new Golden State Warrior as he officially came off the bench not last game, the game before that when Draymond did come back. So let's get right into it. Well, before I want to get right into it, I want to say I hope everybody had a great day. Happy Halloween, of course. Drop questions in the comments. I'll definitely answer some questions as I'm going through. But let's dive into it, man. Traded. The Clippers traded for James Harden. Now the deal, the Clippers get James Harden, PJ Tucker, Philip Petrusev, and I'm hoping I said his name right because y'all know I'm not good with names. And then the Sixers traded Roku, Robert Covington, Marcus Morris, Nick Batum, Kenyon Martin Jr. Then they sent a 2026 first rounder from the Oklahoma City Thunder, who jumped in the deal of 2028 first round and 2 second round picks, a pick swap from the OKC. The picks was a lot of stuff that reality wasn't enough, but let's throw this up. Pick aside meme Warriors are back. We're gonna talk about the Warriors, man. We're gonna talk about them a little bit earlier. I want to say why I don't have a costume on it because I had work today. I actually have a headache right now, but I had to get this out for you guys. But let's talk about the trade. So let's talk about it from the Clippers' perspective. They get James Harden, they get PJ Tucker. This has been a deal worth waiting for. We have been pretty much kind of in our brains thinking that this deal was going to be made a couple months ago, but we always knew Harden was going to end up with the Clippers. He is now with the Clippers. What type of dynamic does that bring to that offense? What type of dynamic to that does that bring to PG and Kawhi? Because now you're probably getting them one of the best point guards they probably ever played with. I mean, Russell Westbrook is a good point guard, but James Harden, he is of great playmaking status in our league, and now you're pairing him with a Paul George who looks to be playing great right now with a Kawhi Leonard, Zubac, Tyronn Lue, Westbrook. They managed to keep T-Man. They managed to keep Norman Powell. And they still got Mason Plumlee and Bones Highland, who's been playing excellent basketball right off the bench. So now, what does the lineup look like? Let's talk about it. I think Harden starts. I think you probably roll out T-Man, PG, Kawhi, and you roll out Zubac. I think that's or you roll out Norman Powell and leave T-Man coming off the bench, bring some defense in. However you want to slice it, I'm sure Tyronn Lue, he's built for this. He can kind of figure that out. In my opinion, I thought this was a good deal. I think pretty much you're in a win now mode. PG and Kawhi, they're on pretty much their last year of their deals. They have player options, but I think they're going to get more money if they decline it, go out and think the Clippers pay them more. So for this season, you made a win now move. And coming into the season, you kind of were under teams like Denver. You were under teams like Phoenix. You were under teams like the Lakers. Now you get a James Harden, and you now looking like you're in that tier. I don't think they're better than Denver. I think Denver, you still have a Joker problem that the Clippers have never figured out, and they probably never will. And James Harden doesn't really fix that. But I think you've now put yourself in that conversation with the Lakers. You put yourself in that conversation with the Suns. I think this team right now can beat the Suns. I think this team can beat the Lakers. Like this is where because this is where you kind of want to be. You kind of want to give yourself the best chance at April, in May, like in June. Like you want to give yourselves the best chance. And as long as this team is healthy, which has been the main issue outside of the bubble for them, I think this team is pretty great. They can run a 10-man rotation. It's really just about with James Harden you're getting. He's been practicing. He's been still working out, keeping in shape, and he wants to be here. So Bringing in a guy like James Harden, who was still an all-star level player last year, still a double-double machine, kind of gave you a little bit of some good moments in the playoffs, but probably more bad than good. But he had a 40 ball. He did win the Sixers 2 playoff games, so you got to against the Celtics, so you got to give him credit for that. But I think for the Clippers, you know, you got to kind of salvage what's been probably the worst trade in NBA history in acquiring Paul George and then ultimately signing Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? So like you have to salvage at least something. You in the bubble, you blew the 3-1 lead. All right. The next year, stuff happens, but you ended up making a WCF, which is good. But the problem with that WCF was Kawhi didn't play. And that was probably your biggest opportunity to win a chip. Because I think the Clippers they could have beat the Bucks. Whether we can go back and forth on it or not, it's really not the thing. The thing is, we know they would have beat the Suns and they would have got to the finals, and that would have been their first finals appearance in NBA history. That was already their first WCF appearance in their franchise history. So that was kind of your shot. And then you have back-to-back seasons of PG and Kawhi missing significant time, not having them when you need them. Last year, you kind of go to the playoffs. You lose PG 2 to 3 weeks before that. You have Kawhi. He's playing on a meniscus tear. He misses out. You see him for 2 games against the Suns. The first game was amazing. Kawhi looked like Kawhi, single-handedly outscoring the likes of Devin Booker, DeAndre, um, Kevin Durant, and Chris Paul combined. And then Kawhi goes down with an injury. That pretty much sucks. So right now you have to kind of salvage what you can from that deal, and you kind of have to give yourself a bit of a window. And walking into this year, I don't think the Clippers were anybody's contenders list. I think people had the Clippers maybe missing the playoffs. I know. Shout out to John Tortorelli, a good guy to show. Shout out to his podcast too. Make sure y'all go tune in. I think he had them missing the playoffs. So I think people were pretty much down on this Clippers team. But I think now with James Harden, you can see this team maybe make a run to the WCF, maybe give them, an opportunity to play Denver, give them a shot. That Joker issue is going to be some problems, and I think how do you figure that out? I don't know. But for the most part, the Clippers got better in the sense of they brought in a playmaker that they've been dying and needing for, and they bring in another guy that can give you 20 and 10. Uh, Rated R Sports debate. Let's throw this up here. Oh, no, wrong. Let's throw this up here. You a Clippers fan? No, I am not a Clippers fan. I am a Paul George fan. I am indeed that. I will root for the Clippers. I will watch the Clippers. But if Paul George is not playing, you won't catch me ever watching their games. But let's get on to the Clippers. I mean, let's get on to the Sixers because I seen this comment. And I love interacting with you guys. So listen, if I don't catch your comment, I apologize. I try to interact as much as possible. I want to get through this, because I do want to catch the second half of the Cavs game. Sixers won the trade, in my opinion, can make an additional trade for Levine or OG in Bridges. Now, the Sixers got Robert Covington. They got Marcus Morris, Nick Batum, Kenyon Martin Jr., and a couple picks. I think Roku's a good depth piece. I think a guy who can space the floor. He's a good off-ball defender. Not great on ball. He kind of gets beat off the dribble a lot, but off ball, his hands are great. He's good as a help side defender. Marcus Morris's defender is cooked, but I think offensively he can give you something. Nick Batum, he gives you the effort. Defensively, he definitely gives you that effort. He's a good passer out of certain situations. So you got somewhat of a depth issue. You don't have a depth issue as much as you want to, but you're lacking that guy. And I think Tyrese Maxey, I think this was a great deal for him because I think this gives him the opportunity to kind of show people what he can be and kind of step up his game and elevate into that all-star caliber role. I think Tyrese Maxey is a big-time player, and I think he's one of them ones. I love Tyrese Maxey coming out of college, coming out of Kentucky, and I think he's been great in his role. And I think now what we've seen, it's still early as shit. It's only been 2 to 3 games. But what we've seen from Tyrese Maxey is he's going to get a lot more reps, and I think he's prepared for it. And I do think with the Sixers, they pretty much created cap for themselves for next offseason or even this year if they want to go out and get a star. I think that was the huge part. These contracts are going to be done, excuse me. These contracts are going to be done this year or next year. So you're going to create that cap Tobias Harris, excuse, that's what I was waiting for, that burp. Tobias Harris contract will be done this year. So you're creating money for yourself. In my opinion, I think you should blow it up. I firmly believe the Sixers should blow it up, start it over. I think Joel Embiid is going to give you an insane haul. And I think a team like the Knicks are looking for him. I think a team like OKC is a sneaky one. I think a team like Brooklyn is another sneaky one. And I think you have to salvage what you can before, God forbid, Joel Embiid gets a bad injury. You have to kind of move on from it. And I think this team, you've kind of, you know, reached your peak. I think no matter if you get a OG or Mikal Bridges, are they really moving you? I mean, they're not moving me. They're good players, good to great players. We've seen them as number threes or number fours on contenders, but they're not needle movers. Zach LaVine, do you want to tie yourself to that money? I don't think you do. I don't think you want to tie yourself to that money, especially with if you don't make a deep run this year. Joel Embiid could axe out next year, next offseason. Now you're tied to that Zach LaVine money. Do you have Tyrese and Zach LaVine? I think that's a bit redundant. So I don't think Zach LaVine is in that cards. So I think the one move you can make is moving Joel Embiid. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think you have to come to reality that the process failed. And it is okay. It is okay that the process failed. Not everybody, not every team makes a move and it ultimately leads to a championship or it ultimately leads to multiple ECFs. It just doesn't happen. And it's okay. But are you going to be the ones that are stuck in stubbornness and stay where you at and keep saying, no, we can do this. No, we can do this. Or you're going to be on that side where, no, we've reached our peak. Let's just trade Embiid, get what we can get from, which is going to be a lot. Pay Tyrese Maxey next offseason, well, this offseason coming up. And then let's focus on the rebuild. Let's focus on building a different type of team. Like I look at the Toronto Raptors. They're one of those teams that were kind of just trying to figure it out, keep holding on, keep holding on, keep holding on. And it was like, dude, for what? Like, I don't understand the point. You have a good core group of guys that you can get a lot back. You let Fred VanVleet walk for nothing. He ended up getting a ridiculous deal, which we're not even going to speak on. You have Pascal Siakam, which can get you some picks here, probably like two, but you want to hold on. OG could have got you 3 first-round picks last year, and you decided, no, we're going to run with this team. Jakob Poeltl, you re-signed him and you traded a first for him. Like, these teams, they're so stubborn and they want to win, but they don't understand sometimes it's time to just let it go. Chicago, too, another one. Chicago's another team, which I hated that it happened, but that's another team that kind of did it. So I think this team, I think in this deal, the Clippers, I don't like either team who won. For the Clippers, for them to win this deal, they have to go to the finals. I think that's, in my opinion, that's what it's going to be. I think they have to go to the finals. And for the Sixers, depending on their ceiling or depending on what they want to do with, Joel Embiid, I think this is a team that should blow it up. That's just my opinion. I think Tobias is going to be gone. You traded PJ Tucker. DeAnthony Melton is another guy who you're going to have to extend soon, who you can add in that Embiid deal, get maybe another second rounder back, and just blow it up and start over. Try something different. And AB, I agree with you. I don't think the Sixers are on the same tier as the Raps or the Bulls. I think they're a tier above, but I think all of them reached the same goal at the end of the year, and that's not getting to an Eastern Conference Finals. And I think that's the issue, and I think that is the problem. You don't have that consistent success. You're not like the Boston Celtics. You don't consistently get to the ECF. You're so close. You're so close. You had an opportunity last year. You were up 3-2 against the Celtics. Joel Embiid would have made his first Eastern Conference Finals in his entire NBA career. He's the only player that we consider a top 10 player that has yet to make a conference finals. That's insane to me. Like, even the guys a little bit behind him, Trae Young, like, I'm just naming guys, Trae Young, Devin Booker, Damian Lillard, Jimmy Butler. Like, Joel Embiid is the guy that has not made it. He's not had a signature playoff moment. He has not had a signature playoff series. He's had opportunities where he could have made it to the ECF, but obviously stuff happens, and he's a guy who's a lot, like, he's always injured come playoff time. He always gets injured in the playoffs. And I remember the year before last year, he wasn't fully healthy against Miami. He got hurt. So, I think this is a situation where if I'm the Sixers, honestly, I would blow it up. I don't see a reason to continue on trying to look for guys like Zach Levine who just signed an extension. So you'll be tying yourself down to that big contract. I don't see a like I don't know what you expect Mikel would give you, but I like that's a team friendly. That's a good deal, but I wouldn't do it personally. And then OG, I mean, his contract is due soon, so you're probably gonna have to pay him. Do you really want to tie yourself to that money? I don't think you should, especially if you're gonna roll out lineups with Embiid, Maxey, and OG as your big three. I don't know. We just seen Milwaukee get Dame. We just seen Boston get Drew Holiday and Porzingis, and you're telling me the move you think is the move is Zach Levine or OG and Mikal Bridges? Let's be serious. I think the Sixers are done. I think this is the time to blow it up. You've had your mark. You've been a consistent playoff team. You've given it all, and I think this is the time where you kind of accept your losses and kind of head over. But speaking of like, let's get into it. Let's talk about the in-season tournament because I think this in-season tournament is going to be interesting. I think the rules they've implemented, we've seen the court designs that they're trying to do. It's been a bit ugly, but look, at least they're trying. You know what I'm saying? At least they are trying. We've seen the bracket. So let's read it off. In-season tournament bracket. All 30 teams have been randomly drawn into groups of 5 within their conference based on the win-loss records from the 2022-2023 regular season. Beginning November 3rd, which is coming up. It's very soon. Let's lock in, fellas. Couple more days. And continuing through Tuesday, November 28th. So this is going to happen in November. The whole month of November, this is where it's happening. Each team will play 4 designated group play games on tournament nights, 1 game against each opponent in its group, with 2 games at home and 2 on the road. 8 teams will advance to the knockout round. The team with the best standing in group play games in each of the 6 groups and 2 wild cards. The team from each conference with the best record in group play, games that finish second in its group. The knockout rounds will be single elimination games of the quarterfinals played in December on the 4th and the 5th. Semifinals in the championship. Okay. So this is interesting. So let's dive in. I'm gonna give you. First of all, I'm gonna give you a quick analysis of the groups, and then I am gonna tell you who I think is gonna win. Okay, so let's go. West Group A. You got the Grizzlies. You got Phoenix. You got the Lakers. You got Utah. You got the Trailblazers. This group is hilarious. Okay, Memphis right now, they're 0-4. They still have insane offensive woes. Half court doesn't look good. The rebounding is an issue. No Steven Adams is coming to save you. John Morant will not be back for this in-season tournament. I don't see them winning it. But here's the thing with every team, right? Excuse me. Woo! I just had McDonald's. My fault, y'all. Phoenix. When does Devin Booker come back? When does Bradley Beal come back? They've already, they already missed. Bradley Beal hasn't played a game. Devin Booker has missed the last 2 or 3 games. With the Lakers, I think I would lean them to win. I love Utah and I love the way they play basketball. I love how unselfish and how, ball movement oriented they are. Portland, I just don't think they're good enough. I think they're still trying to figure out their lineups. They're trying to figure out, yes, Deco, he is out tonight. I think they're trying to figure out their ways. Scoot is still trying to find his way into the offense. Ayton is trying to find his way into the offense. And they're probably not going to have Simons for the month. So for me, West Group A looks like the Lakers. I think they should be the favorites and they should take this group. I think with the Suns, you can't trust who's going to play on a night-to-night basis. And it's only November. I think Memphis, they're banged up. They don't look like they're in rhythm. They probably won't be in rhythm by the tournament, but it'd be great if they get that rhythm in tournament. So I think West Group A, we can comfortably say, we'd take the Lakers. Let me know who y'all think would win West Group A. I think this one is going to be a pretty easy one for the Lakers, unless you get Phoenix, Devin Booker comes back, Bradley Beal hops out to play. Then I can see Phoenix taking it. But as of right now, I think I'll go to Lakers for West Group A. Let me know who y'all would pick for West Group A. Moving on to West Group B. Now this is the one. This one, this is intriguing for me. Denver. You got Denver. You got the Clippers. James Harden will be there for the in-season tournament. You got the Pelicans. You got Dallas. And you got Houston. So Houston, I love Amen, but I think they're the one team that's we're not really looking to win this. Dallas is an intriguing one because they can clutch up. Luka can have a masterful performance and they can get a win too. The Pelicans, I don't like the fit with their team. I don't like the spacing that's going on with that roster. I really feel like there's a too many random screws on a roster that have a lot of talent, but it's not fit to, it's not properly fit together. Like it's you're trying to make a sandwich, but you kind of don't know what you want to put on it yet and what's the right ingredients. If you know what I mean. That probably was a dog shit analogy, but we're here anyways. Then you got the Clippers. They just acquired James Harden. And then you got Denver, who looks like the most well-oiled machine in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like they just look like they've been playing together for 30 years. So for me, it'd come down to the Nuggets and the Clippers. I think I'd lean Denver because I think the Clippers are going to they have to figure out the continuity issues. They have to learn how to play with each other. So I think West Group B would go Denver. If I had a sleeper, it'd probably be Dallas. I think because I don't think the Clippers would be a sleeper. I think Dallas is a sleeper team that can win the West Group B. For West Group A, the sleeper team would probably be damn. I'll be honest. I don't think West Group A has a sleeper, but West Group B, my sleeper team. So I would think Denver wins West Group B. Sleeper team would be Dallas. West Group C. Um, let's be serious. Let me name the names. Okay. So you got Sacramento, you got Golden State, you got Minnesota, you got OKC, you got San Antonio. I think West Group C is a fun one. I think this one can give you a variety of different looks, different offenses. You got the Kings and Golden State who play similar on offense. You got Minnesota who plays a different style. You got OKC who plays a different style. You got San Antonio, the up and young comers coming in. So I think this group is a little bit more balanced in a sense where you got the Spurs who can beat a team on any given night. You got Minnesota, who's a great regular season team. You got OKC, them young up and coming guys who are hungry, ready to prove themselves. And then you got the old and steady Golden State Warriors who still want to let people know that they're still up at the top. And then you got the Kings, who I think unfortunately they lost De'Aaron Fox probably for a couple of those games in the in-season tournament, which is going to hurt them. So for me, yeah, I know who I'm going with. I don't think I need to explain too much, man. I got Golden State winning West Group C. I think the way we playing right now, and it's early as shit, but I think the way that bench looks, the way Steph is looking, I think this team is a good unit, and I think they can pull out this one. Especially, I think their challenge would have been the Kings, and I think with De'Aaron Fox out, the Warriors should win this one. My sleeper for the West Group C would be I'd go Minnesota. I think defensively they can lock in for this tournament, and then Ant Edwards comes to play. He puts on a masterful performance. I could see Minnesota winning West Group C coming out of this one. Ant Edwards getting the MVP for sure. J Kings, I agree. Yeah, I'll go my Golden State wins West Group C, and then I'll go Minnesota as my sleeper for sure. Let's head on down to the East, man. East Group A. We got Philly, we got Cleveland, we got the Hawks, we got Indiana, we got Detroit. Let's fly by this. I think for me, I don't know how healthy Cleveland is. Darius Garland is dealing with a hamstring injury. I don't know when Jared Allen comes back. I would have picked them to win it. So for me, I'm going to go at Indiana. I think East Group A, Indiana takes this one. Oh, wait. Philly's tough too. No, you know what? I'm bugging. That's on me. I fucked up. I'm going to go Philly. I think Philly wins East Group A, but I think Indiana's a sleeper. I think that's the sleeper team in East Group A. That's what I really wanted to say. So I think Philly wins East Group A, and I think Indiana is definitely the sleeper. I think Philly is still a good unit. They did get some depth. I think Tyrese Maxey is going to be a great player this year. Joel Embiid is still an MVP candidate. As opposed to Cleveland, I don't know how healthy they're going to be. Atlanta, they're okay, but they're not a team that moved me. Like Trae Young still hasn't played well, and they're not a team that moves me too much. Detroit is a young, exciting team, but they still got a lot to figure out. That spacing is awful, and Cade is still a bit inefficient right now. So somebody said take the mic away. That was really rude. But shout out to you, my boy. I appreciate you for dropping a comment because that's what I need. That means you watching. So I appreciate that. Heading over to East Group B, I think Milwaukee should comfortably win this. It's Milwaukee, it's New York, it's Miami, it's Washington, it's Charlotte. I think Milwaukee should comfortably win this one. The sleeper team would be either the Knicks or Miami. I don't think Washington or Charlotte has a chance to win this group. I think Milwaukee with Dame and Giannis should dominate. And I think the Knicks, they're a good team. Miami is also a good team, but Jimmy Butler's dealing with a knee injury, tendonitis, if I'm not mistaken. And they've been banged up already. Washington is just not good enough. Charlotte is still not talented enough. So this is probably going to come down to either the Bucks or the Knicks for me, and I'd lean the Bucks for sure. Um, let's go to the next group, East Group C. You got Boston, you got Brooklyn, you got Toronto, you got Chicago, you got Orlando. Honestly, I don't see why the Celtics shouldn't win this group. I don't see a team like Orlando's a good unit. They're a good young team. I have them in the playoff. I have them in the play-in, but I don't see that they should really give Boston a run for their money. I think with the additions of Drew and Porzingis, that opens up the offense so much, and defensively, it also gives them multiple advantages. With Brooklyn, I just don't think they're talented enough on the offensive end. Toronto, you know what? Toronto and Orlando and Chicago, honestly, they always give Boston fits. But so it'd be interesting to see how Boston trolls their way out of an L, because they love to troll. And if they're not disciplined enough, they can honestly lose to any team on any given night. So maybe I am giving Boston too much credit. But in terms of talent for talent, they're the most talented team in this group by far. So they should win. But I'll still pick them. A sleeper, I don't even have a sleeper because I feel like any four of these teams could win this. Like I feel like Brooklyn could win this group. So like this is basketball in November, December. This isn't basketball in April. So this is fresh. This is where usually the bad teams play good. So I'm not like I don't a sleeper team. I would say all four. I think Chicago can win it. Toronto, like all these teams give Boston fits, and if all of them, if one of them take out Boston, at that point, it's pick your poison with any one of these teams. But if I had a sleeper, I'd probably go Orlando. I think they're a fun group. I think defensively they've shown they're really good. The spacing is a little off, but that'd definitely be my sleeper. That'd be my sleeper. So I go Boston East Group C, and then I'll go Orlando as my sleeper. So the way it goes is pot one, the teams with the three best prior season records in the conference. Pot two, the teams with the 4 through 6 best. That's how they pretty much did it. And I think with this in season tournament, what it can bring you is it can bring you some excitement in October, November, December. And I think that's what kind of what we've been lacking. I think guys kind of like, especially like the veteran guys are the guys that just wake up for the playoffs. They kind of don't take the regular season as serious as we want them to be, and they kind of want to, they value their health because when it comes April, May, June, that's really when you want to be playing. So I understand that to a degree, but I think for us, like us as fans, us as a collective, we want to see you guys compete in October, November. Like we want to see you guys compete every month. We want to see you guys get it going. We want to see the young guys like I said this on the podcast. If I was an NBA player and I was one of the star point guards, I would wake up every day. If I have a Monday, I got to see Trey Young. Wednesday, I see Moran. Then I got a back to back against Steph and Fox. I'm not missing no games for that. I'm getting up. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to lock in defensively, offensively. Like I want to be at my best because I want to prove that what I'm saying I'm one of the best. So, like I feel like, and I'm not saying they don't feel that way. I'm just saying like that's how I would be. So, but I also understand, back to backs to travel, your body, you want to be 100% healthy, and if you even feel a tweak, I get it. I just think for us as fans, we kind of want to see, a Kawhi versus LeBron matchup in December, or like a Steph versus KD matchup in October. Like that's what we want to see. Like we want to see those prime time because we ain't gonna see him forever. Steph is up there in age. LeBron's up there. He old as shit. Kevin Durant's up there in age. Kawhi, Jimmy. Like we ain't gonna get all these guys forever. You know, James Harden also. Like these guys are gonna be gone soon. So we want those high key marquee matchups now. Like we want to get them as much as we can before we can't get them anymore. You know, And I think that's what, you know what I'm saying? That's what we've been itching for. Even last year, like those games with it was Boston and Cleveland. Those games at the beginning of the year were fire. Those games with the Kings and the Warriors last year, like them young boys trying to get them, like those games were beautiful in the beginning of the year. And that's all we want to see. We just want good basketball. We want guys playing and, playing to the best of their abilities and being healthy. And we, of course, us as fans, we fucking hate injuries. We wish these players can never get hurt. But, that's just my thought process on it. Because I think, the NBA, they built this or they made this load management, rule. But it's like you can't stop a guy if he hurt, he hurt. You know what I'm saying? He not gonna play. Like you can't really make a rule to say that, oh, no, you gotta play. Like so it's like we've already seen guys like Garland's missed time, Jimmy's missed time, Clay and Kaminga just missed time, BI missed time. Like Jimmy, like we've seen guys miss time already. So it's like, what was that really gonna do in a sense of if you hurt, you hurt, you know? So I think honestly, that rule was never gonna really break any tension. But like I said, we want to just see these guys play. But let's look over a couple of these bad boys. Elite, what you think about Cat to the Knicks? Hmm. Um. Cat to the Knicks. It depends. It really depends. What are they giving up? Of course. Um. Cat is such a strange player because he has all the tools to be a game changer. He's a guy who's a 3-level scorer. He's 6'11", can rebound with the best of them. And yet and still, you still feel like he doesn't have that motor or that drive, or he doesn't exploit mismatches like you want him to. Sometimes he relies too much on the jumper. Defensively, he's not a rim protector. He gets baby too much. So it's like Cat on the Knicks, I guess it's cool, but I feel like the Knicks can get a bigger move, maybe reach for Embiid. And if not, I would just stay away from Cat if I was the Knicks. You don't want to tie yourself to that money. Excuse me. You don't want to tie yourself to that contract. You don't want to tie yourself to that player. You've been fine building the way you've been building. I would see if you can get a better player down the road or, a high-level player in the draft. Another one. Yeah, I appreciate y'all for the shout outs. And I forgot what these are called, but appreciate y'all for these, man. Somebody help me in the comments, man. I'm getting back. Damian Delgado. Can Cam Thomas be the number one the Nets need to make a push for the playoffs or the play-in? Cam Thomas is what's the word I want to use? Cam Thomas is I want to use a specific word, but I can't think of a word right now, and it's in my head. It's like my head is bobbing the word back and forth, and I can't grab the word. What word? He's just rare because I've never seen a dude. This dude, I feel like every time he plays, he's 30, but he doesn't play a lot. So it's like, what's the issue over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the problem over there in Brooklyn? But do I think he could be the number one? I think we need more of a consistent sample size of him playing minutes to really understand what he is and to really get a gauge of that question. Because I think teams are still trying to figure it out. Because like I mentioned, he plays, but he doesn't play, but then he plays, but he doesn't play. But it's like weird, So I don't know. I can't give you an answer for that yet. Kill moves. What moves should my Lakers make at the deadline? Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones is the move. Gary Harris was another guy I've been seeing creeping up. That's a good deal. 3-and-D, can defend, hit the three ball. Those are two guys off the top of my head. You definitely need a playmaker. You need a playmaker in that guard rotation. You definitely do. You need a playmaker in that guard rotation, like a legit playmaker, a legit floor general. You need some guys that can control the flow of the offense when LeBron's not on the court. And you need you need more reliable 3-and-D players, or you need Reeves to be better. So I would say Tyus Jones is the move. A guy like Gary Harris is a good one. Yeah, so those are good ones. 2023 Luka clears Steph. He has played 3 games, maybe 4 in 2023. I'm not even answering that question because it doesn't even make sense. Steph ended up the year winning MVP, and he won a ring. So you have to ask me that question again in June and July. Then I'll answer that question because he's played 4 games. And Steph, I think his advanced numbers that year were like breaking fucking records. Bills defense is back. We here, Asif. Okay. Well, we did just get Rasul Douglas. I hope he's talking about Buffalo because this is an NBA show. So I don't really know. I don't know either. But let's get back. Let's get back to it because super chats. That's what it is. There we go. Ah, I fucking love you guys, man. You guys help me out so much. Let's look at the comments. Lock in. Bro said lock in. Bro, don't do that to me. I'm always locked in. Always locked in. Bring me Caruso. Drew, I told you, if you send us 3 first-round picks, we will give you Caruso. For real. Lock it in. Here we go. On to the final segment of my show because I feel like it's good basketball right now. I want to watch it. I also like Drew violated me last show. He said I have a nasty mouth and my mouth was insane. Yo. But yeah, I have been dealing with some you know, I have been dealing with some issues with my teeth and the back rows and stuff. So it's been giving me, it's been giving me some pain in terms of like headaches and like my ear has been pounding a lot and my jaw's been hurting. So if you've seen me on shows kind of like not talk or like kind of yawn or like kind of be unfocused, it's been primarily that. Like I've been dealing with that pain, been giving me headaches, my head's been pounding and stuff like that. So that's what I've been going through lately. It's been happening for like a month now. And I'm sharing that with you guys because you guys are my favorite. And once my insurance comes back in, it's so lit. But I'm getting off topic. Fuck it. This is my show. We're gonna get off topic if we want to get off topic. Fuck that. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Riv, is it safe to say Maxi clears AR-15 a hero now? I always thought he cleared. So you know, I always thought he cleared. Thank you, Jay Kings. Chase, Riv, bring True Ball Nowhere on the show. Who is that? Um, I actually don't. I don't know who that is. I maybe know him by face. I don't know like who that is though. Maybe if you like, I guess I'm. Everybody knows I'm very active on Instagram and Twitter. I'll answer. So maybe DM me like whoever he is or DM me his account. I'll follow him and I'll hit him up. Yeah, I don't mind. I actually hit up 2 Warriors analysts today. So hopefully, they definitely hit me back. What you get from McDonald's? I really can't eat anything, so I just got some fries and some nuggets. But I only got 6 nuggets. I got some fries, and I asked them to make them really, really soft. It's been rough, bro. It's been extremely rough for me, man. I haven't really been able to do it. Here we go, another one. Oh no, wrong one. I'll get to you next, Biggie. Jay Kings, what's going on with Scoot? Scoot, I think Scoot hasn't. The athleticism was a bit overrated. I don't think he has Derrick Rose, John Morant like explosiveness because I think I went back 2 days ago and I watched Derrick Rose rookie year again, and boy, I was oozing. Oh, I remember that. Oh, I woke up all drippy and stuff. But yeah, like bro, Derrick Rose, his rookie year popped off the fucking screen, dog. He was so explosive and athletic and twitchy in between the lanes. He was just and John Morant the same in college too. I don't think Scoot has that. I think he's a little bit he's trying to figure it out. He has to understand pace and space and he has to get to his spots, the mid-range game. We thought he had that. He doesn't have it right now. But I think he's just, going through his curves. You know what I'm saying? I think he's trying to figure it out. And I don't want to overreact too much because I do love Scoot as a prospect. And I do think Scoot is going to be a great player in the game. I just think he needs I think he needs time. That's all. Um, Thoughts on the Celtics so far? Biggie, I'll be honest. I've caught glimpses of the Celtics. Like I caught them in the Heat game, but I haven't seen enough consistently to really give you my full on conclusion. And I'm here to be honest with you. So I'm gonna catch more Celtics games for sure, and then I'll really I'll lock in. I'll definitely lock in and give you that next. Ask me that again next show, and I'll definitely do it. But let me. I'm. You guys are killing me. You guys are killing me. Let's get on to the show. Let's finish up, man. Let's get on to the last topic. Chris Paul is a fucking role player. He is a bench player, and Steve Kerr, like he had me pulling out my hair all summer. Like my hair would be longer if it wasn't for Chris Paul. And I think Chris Paul, I mean, I'm sorry, my hair would be longer if it wasn't for Steve Kerr, because Steve Kerr is probably, outside of maybe me and Joel Moran, shout out to him, the biggest troll I've ever seen in my life. I mean, this guy is over the summer. Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. Yeah, we're just, we're trying to understand lineups, and we're trying to just maybe we will start Chris Paul, and just talking some bullshit. And then he has him start in the preseason, and then he started him when Draymond was not playing. And I was just like, dude, no way we're gonna roll out this lineup for 80 games. Like, there's just no, it's too small. They cannot defend. And then he comes up the bench, Draymond's back, and it's like, wait a minute, like, okay, this team looks good. And granted, we haven't played, like, we played the Suns' first game, no Beal, no Draymond. So it wasn't a lot to take away from that game. Both teams played awful anyways. And then shout out, me and Drew talked about it on my first episode. Then we played the Kings, that Steph masterclass, and then we played Houston. And I'm blanking on the other team we played. I'm blanking so bad because I watched the game and I cannot think of the other team we played. Oh, the Pelicans. I'm tripping. We just played them. Yeah, Deco. Right on time. Yeah, we just played them. So we played the Pelicans, and let's just evaluate. Chris Paul is shooting 16 for 28 from the mid range. That's 57%. Chris Paul this year has so far 33 assists, 6 turnovers. He leads the Golden State Warriors in plus minus at plus 46. The Warriors are plus 31 and Steph 65 minutes off the court through 4 games. Now that's different. That energy that's different. I don't care what you say, whether it's 4 games, 14 games. You couldn't find me a stretch in 5 years that tells me that when Steph is off the court, they're that. And I think what we've noticed is that Steve Kerr was never going to start Chris Paul if the team was healthy. And I thank God for that, because Chris Paul, he has Moody playing well. He has Kuminga playing well. Trace Davis played well in his first game played. AirPods, Brandon, he played well. Sarek, we're waiting on you. You know what I'm saying? But Chris Paul, because they bring a different what I've noticed is I don't think Kuminga and Moody have figured out that starting five's offense. I think that starting five, the way they play offense is different than when Chris Paul comes in and they play offense. And I think Chris Paul, Moody, and Kuminga, they play well off that, when they come in. And I think he's pretty much the engine of this team off the bench, and he's giving this team different looks, slowing down the pace, limiting the turnovers. I mean, somebody said it, and I wish I could remember their name because this was such a great take. He's kind of given us what Andre Iguodala gave us when he first gave in, that calmness, that right approach to the game of basketball, that just savvy thinking, that brilliant IQ of a player. Like, he may not be as athletically gifted as he used to be. He may not be the same player, because I laugh when he tries to go get a bucket because he looks old doing it. But in terms of just processing the game, his play-by-play awareness, figuring out where Kuminga needs to be, where Moody needs to be. I mean, this guy, Chris Paul, man, I'm glad it's working. I hope it continues working. And I think, I'm not like, I think him off the bench, I never had it. Like, I never had a problem with that. But I think him starting was always my issue. And even in certain spurts, like there was a play against the Pelicans where they put Chris Paul in the corner. Draymond's bringing it up. Handoff. To Steph, gives it back. Steph gets it again. Draymond sets a screen. Steph comes off the screen. Throws it to Draymond Green. Steph comes up the screen, throws it to Chris Paul in the corner. Draymond slips. Draymond is wide open. Chris Paul makes that crisp pass. Draymond gets it, hits an open man in the corner. Boom. I think it was Moody. Jumper, cash. Like, Steve Kerr is figuring out how to use Chris Paul's brilliance and Draymond's brilliance without them fully having the ball. And what that's doing for Steph is it's relieving that pressure off him where he can just focus on going and getting the bucket. Because, dude, this dude is just a bucket. Like, go get a bucket. Let Draymond and Chris Paul worry about the playmaking, worry about getting everybody open. Steph Curry, you're going to get guys open just off you getting the ball, you in action alone. So I've been excited, and I've been tempering I've been tempering my overreactions on Twitter. Like I'm not, oh, we're gonna win the title, or oh, we're gonna make a run. No, I've been tempering that, but I've liked what I've seen from this Golden State Warriors. I don't think we won a road game till like December last year. And we've already won 2 road games before November. And I think that's huge. I think that is the important part. Like we've kind of, I don't want to say fixed the woes, because the Rockets are whatever, and the Pelicans are a solid team. But I think when you look at how we started last year and how we started this year, I think you have to be excited about what's to come. We didn't have Kaminga and Clay last night. Trace and Brandon stepped in and they were fine. And that's what you need. That's what Steve Kerr loves. Smart guys who can come in and make an instant impact. And, I'm gonna, of course, I got to talk about Andrew Wiggins, because I thought a key thing Kerr did last night or 2 nights ago was important. Andrew Wiggins has been struggling. He's been struggling a lot, and I think I believe in my guy. I think he'll get it going. I think he'll figure it out. And I think he'll definitely get back to his ways. But he was struggling. He was 0 for 3 in the first half. If I'm not mistaken. Steve Kerr decides, you know what? We need Andrew Wiggins. We got to get Andrew Wiggins going. What does he do? Andrew Wiggins goes 4 for 5 in the second half. He he sets up an easy play to get Andrew Wiggins a quick switch on CJ McCollum. Andrew Wiggins goes to the hole, quick floater, gets him going. Like it's that confidence boost that Kerr understands when he's not trolling. When Kerr's not trolling, he understands the brilliance is there. He understands we need to get Andrew Wiggins going. We need to get him out this funk. You need to get that confidence back. And that's all we ask from Andrew Wiggins. If we can get that same Andrew Wiggins from 2021, this is a really great team, and I love what I've seen so far. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to overreact too much, but I've loved what I've seen so far. I've loved that this team has fully embraced the young players, fully embraced Chris Paul, fully embraced. We just picked up Kaminga and Moses Moody's options, so that's great. And I'm fully embracing what the Warriors can do. And I think going into this in-season tournament, they have a lot of confidence. We got Sacramento coming up. I hate that Fox isn't playing, because when he does play, the Kings and the Warriors are must-see TV. Like they're always one of the best games over the past 2 seasons. Have been one of the best games. Like I think last playoffs they were the best playoff series in the playoffs entirely. Like they were the best playoff series I watched by far. And every time I watch them two teams play, it's always fun. It's always exciting, no matter where you at. So I think this Warriors team has a lot to look forward to, and I think we can hope to see progression. But I'm excited for this team. But that's definitely going to do it for today. I gave you 48 minutes of calm talk. I don't. I want to continue to be consistent for you guys, because I really do. And I know how I am. I really do enjoy the fans. Jay Kings is in the Discord with me. I love interacting with you guys. I love to. I keep you guys in my day to day. I try to keep you guys in my day to day as much as possible, regardless of what I'm doing. Because I love the fans. Make sure y'all join the Discord, join the Patreon. We've been doing some fun stuff. Follow the fantasy reaction. They just made their TikTok. They made their Instagram. Need y'all to lock in on that, because they have been cooking. And even though I don't give a fuck about fantasy football, fantasy basketball, I definitely advocate for you guys to go tune in. Follow the Joel Moran show. That's my brother, even though we argue and yell at each other, and I'll be ready to strangle his ass. That's my dog. He knows what he's talking about. So follow the Joel Moran show. And if you're a Jets fan, lock in. But I'm definitely going, let's before I go, let me answer a couple questions. WCF Warriors versus Clippers. Who you got? Fuck. Oh, that's such a crazy question to ask me. But I will always take Warriors over Clippers. But I will always say Warriors win. Paul George averages like 40 points. Like I want him to play amazing. You can't blame it on him. But I would take Warriors always. This Chase guy keeps saying I respond to him on Twitter a good amount. Okay, I'm gonna look him up. I don't know, maybe I do. I respond to a lot of people on Twitter, so I'm gonna look him up, Chase, because you keep saying it. I don't know if you're trolling or not, but you keep saying it, so you must want me to, you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna see. Nobody got emotional like James Harden. That is indeed funny. That is definitely funny, but definitely, um, I just jumped back on TikTok, so follow me at Riv Academy. Just jumped on Instagram, follow me at Riv Academy. I'm probably gonna put everything on my main Twitter. So Rivio with 5 eyes. Is it Rivio? J Kings. What is my Twitter? Oh my god, I'm sorry guys. I know I'm not good with the memory, but I'm probably gonna put everything on my main Twitter. Because I can't get back into my Riv Academy Twitter account. And honestly, I just want it on my main page. I do want to say to you guys before I go, that the content that I'm putting out for you guys, it's gonna be a lot of different looks. It's gonna be like, cause I've always what I always do is I read this. I didn't read this book. I was watching this guy talk, and he was saying podcasting and basketball, it's about entertainment when you're a guy like me. And I agree. I think this thing is about entertainment. It's all about keep going, of course, but you guys don't want to be up here watching me just like I don't even want to be up here just analyzing and talking about bullshit. Like I don't want to do that with you guys. I got to do it right now, but I don't want to do it with you guys all the time. Like I want to do fun shit. Like I want y'all to walk with me through my experiences of basketball, through my experiences of life with basketball. So, any different things y'all want me to, I'm gonna be brainstorming ideas, whether it could be a vlog to games or like y'all watching me at a men's league. Like I'm gonna be experimenting different things. And that's going to be primarily on my Riv Academy account, which is my private YouTube page. This is going to be more NBA stuff. So it could be a time where I'm visiting a Knicks game or I'm there. I'll definitely put out a vlog for you guys. But I want to do different things. I want y'all to not only get my insight and, I want us to share ball knowledge because I don't think I'm as smart as anybody. I think, if you know ball, you know more. And I think we all know ball. But I want to share that, experience with you guys. So I want to do different stuff. So it's not going to just be analyzing it. Oh my God, like, this guy, he shoots 33% in his true shooting. I don't want to do all that. No, this is going to be fun, exciting. I'm just getting more, getting more of an understanding with the equipment I need and with like the stuff I need to do and how I want to move forward. So do I have any more? No, I do not. Okay, so thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get on to the Knicks Cavs game. Lock in on Orlando in the Clippers game. Thank y'all for having me, and I hope y'all have a great night, man.